Welcome to another episode of State of the Bulldogs. Sam, Mike, Jeb, and Grant. Boys, it is a happening spring. No portal updates. But softball came to a dramatic end. Baseball turned the season around in one weekend. Fun question from your brother Grant, and a
Who?
little update on the track and field and golf side. Mike, start with you, man. Tell us what happened to Gabby in the NCAA regionals, and then give the little update on track and field, which I did not know, in all honesty, was still going.
Yeah, we're things around. Set the
wagon.
Bulldogs first. But yeah, Gabby Nicastro, women's golfer, was in the Lexington regional. I think there were maybe 5 or 6 regionals in the country this past weekend or so, and then she ended up snagging 43rd out of 67 in that regional. But still, pretty cool to have a Samford Bulldog in the running there. And any idea what she shot? I don't know.
I think she shot 72 maybe the last day.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to see that there were 67 golfers in one regional. That's kind of wild. We didn't look it up, but does anyone know how many people qualify out of that regional?
Yeah,
That
so I
is
think
a
it's
great
top take maybe a couple teams from each regional, and then the top individual golfer that didn't qualify as a team.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know how many teams from each regional, maybe just one.
Okay, so you could keep like riding solo through the whole tournament. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wonder-
she
Go ahead.
shot a 70. She shot a 79 in round 1, 74 in round 2, then finished with 1 under 71 in round 3. So it got better every day.
I would be very curious to know what the experience is like as a golfer from a non-major powerhouse who's just really good, and they're just kind of working their way through the tournament with like their coach and maybe a trainer. I don't even know who would follow you around.
Yeah, and there's
Also-
all these teams, and you're just there by yourself. Like as a solo, that's
I don't think she
That's tough.
currently has a coach. Didn't the women's golf coach retire?
a great question. Hopefully he,
Stuck around.
hopefully Joe went with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's like, yeah, that would suck.
I would hope his
Yeah.
last stint was in Lexington, but you're right,
Yeah.
Mike. You never know. I mean,
Nah,
he might have just
he's down
clocked
the beach.
out.
Yeah, Gabby, congrats. I'm going to be at the beach. I'll see
Yeah.
it maybe sometime. I don't know when I'll be back.
Next time you need me to help you read a putt.
Yeah, just
that would suck.
FaceTime. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Yeah.
I think he retired.
Connect
I
your
don't
phone,
know
but yeah,
if
just
I know.
FaceTime. Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
I'm sure he was there. I'm sure he was there. But,
All right,
yeah.
Mike, hit us with track and field.
Yeah.
The sport that never dies.
We're a
Wagon.
dynasty. I mean, we've known that. Absolute wagon. But both men's and women's, again, for the 5th straight time, won the track and field championships. This is the outdoor championship. No, I'm sorry. Women's, it was
Yeah.
the 6th straight title. Men's, it was 5th.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Still, quite a wagon.
That's wild.
Yeah, Samford on the men's side had the most outstanding athlete. Bryce Davis scored 22 points. He won in shot put and finished 3rd in hammer throw and discus. Samford as a team swept the discus side on the men's side. So
Does he want to play football?
let's see what that height and weight is, and I'll get back to you. Oh, he's a freshman. We don't have height and weight on.
I
track
don't
and
think
field
he's
roster. Never
small,
mind.
Grant. I don't think he's small.
Hey, I threw discus in high school.
Were you a
Like-
conference champion in
Like
college?
a
though?
$1.50 in high school.
It's me, right? It's me right now.
I
The
never
lightweight
made it out of
hurler.
qualifiers.
Yeah, they
yeah,
made all
fist-
the linemen who didn't have a spring sport throw. So
Yeah.
it's usually the big boy sport.
So did you throw? Is that what you're saying?
I played lacrosse. Hey man. I
Oh,
had a
do you
spring
lax?
sport. Chill.
Lax. You
chill.
played lax. Do you even
That's
lax,
right.
bro?
That's right. That's right.
Jeez.
What were you gonna say, Grant?
Oh no, I was just going down the some of the results. The women's Adeline Hayes, defender, tied to the women's 1500, beating a Furman opponent by over 2 seconds. And then Lacey Pardue came in second in the women's 400, while 2 others finished second and third in the 100-meter sprint. And the Samford women also had a win in the women's 800-meter. So there you go. And the Bulldogs swept both 4x400 relays on the men's and women's side. So
The
there you go,
best
some of the
event.
results. Yeah.
I wonder, do we know if anybody's qualified for nationals yet, or qualified for regionals?
I'm sure we'll find that out this week, right? We should.
Yeah.
That makes
We typically
makes
get
sense.
like,
Yeah, I guess everybody has to run.
a couple athletes that qualify for nationals.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first round doesn't start of the tournament doesn't start until May 28th, so we got a week and a half before they
When does the indoor
rolling there.
season begin? Like October?
That sounds right.
Because it's wild how much we mention track and field on this show. Like it just, it
Especially
seems
the
like it's
distance
every
runners that
week.
do like cross country. I don't know if they probably don't
Yeah.
have long distance indoor. I don't know. I mean, your season's like all year round.
Long, yeah.
There's
Yeah, you
no
got your
never
events
time.
in. Yeah, some have their events in the fall and some in the spring, or maybe some if you're good enough have both. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty long season, especially if you have like a specialty in both, where you got spring and fall working.
Yeah, I don't envy their schedule. I mean, it's so nice for these athletes to have a little off season, you know?
It's
And
just
it
running.
and it helped that the tournament was here at home in Homewood, so it didn't have to travel anywhere, which was nice. So
Yeah, that's nice.
yep.
All right, let's get to your question, or let's get to the question from your brother Grant. So Blake Gardner asked, I love this. This is a good question. What is the best SoCon city that's not Birmingham/Homewood? We were actually talking about this on my brother's graduation weekend uh, this past Saturday. So curious to hear what y'all think. Grant, we'll start with you. I want to hear one, two, three, because and
Mhm.
I'll, for the listeners, the options are Johnson City, Tennessee, ETSU, Chattanooga, obviously UTC, Macon, Mercer, Travelers Rest, Furman, Spartanburg, Wofford, Greensboro, UNCG, Charleston, Citadel, Lexington, VMI, and then Cullowhee, Western Carolina.
Now that I have more time to think about it, I'm pretty sure Charleston's the number one answer. Like that's the favorite spot that all the teams want to go. I remember Samford basketball played somebody on Thursday, and then they basically just went over to Charleston, just hung out at like the lake and stuff for like the until the game on Saturday. It's probably Charleston won, Lexington ninth. Just kidding, Lexington 10th. Let's see.
Savage.
Yeah, Charleston won probably Spartanburg 2, and then Chattanooga 3.
Uh, I'm sorry. Timeout. Spartanburg over Chattanooga?
Well,
What?
technically, I haven't been to Spartanburg, so I probably can't say Spartanburg either.
I like Spartanburg. Sparkle
Yep.
City
Yep.
has a fantastic Krispy Kreme.
It's the
But
only thing you've ever said about Spartanburg.
You mentioned that every time.
I think that goes to show something, Grant.
Yeah, and your family's in Chattanooga, so I wonder why you thought Chattanooga would be better than Spartan. No.
Well, one's called
Yeah,
the
there you go.
Sparkle City, one's called the Scenic City. And I've been to both, and I didn't see much sparkle. So, Mike, let's go to you. Grant, those are
Yeah.
terrible.
Um, there are too many ways to approach this question.
It's open ended. That's right.
If we're just going like if we're in college town, no clue. It's definitely not Spartanburg because that campus is boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
I spent a good
There's some
amount of
fun
time
bars,
in
but like three.
Johnson City, Chat, Greensboro, Charleston. Those are definitely like my four. I hate to say it, guys. You can kick me off the pod, but
Don't do it. I know what you're gonna say. Don't do it.
Furman's a pretty sick spot. They got a golf course on campus. They got a great greenway. That like
They do have a golf
Travelers
course.
Rest in downtown Greenville, I think. Pretty
I'm not
cool
going to
spot.
disagree with you. I'm not going to
Pretty cool
disagree.
spot.
Greenville
But
is
not like
pretty sweet.
Charleston. And I work for a company in Johnson City, so I'm out there fairly often, and it's a nice little spot there, nestled in the foothills of the Smokies. So
It is nice. I really think there's only one bad town, and that's Cullowhee. Mainly because, I mean, if you're going to Western North Carolina, guess where you're not going? Cullowhee.
Yeah,
Every
there's like
other
no place.
city, pretty strong. Spartanburg is at the bottom of that list too, just in terms of the actual like what the city has to offer.
who did we
Um,
talk to? We had somebody on the podcast that talked about how much they loved going to play in Cullowhee because they could go fly fishing after the game. Was that one of the baseball players?
I vaguely remember that.
How great
Maybe
it was.
sounds like a baseball player, but I don't know. I mean, Lexington is nice. Like it's a nice, quaint, historic town. But Charleston's the obvious number one. Like it's not even close. Charleston's the only place on this list that ranks up there like top 10 destinations in the country. Um, I think Chattanooga is the clear second, but obviously very biased. And then third is tough. Like I wanted to put Greenville or Johnson City. I've never been to Greensboro. I imagine it's pretty nice. No idea though. No idea. I just think North Carolina is a pretty legitimate state. Um, so yeah, those are my two. I don't know about a third, but Grant Chattanooga is way above Spartanburg. We can go to Spartanburg. I've been. It's a fun
Okay.
time. They have the one cool downtown spot. Like if you go to
Krispy
college
Kreme?
there, it's not bad.
No.
It's not bad. But it ain't
But
great
you
either.
but you do get good donuts at Krispy Kreme though.
Okay, I'm telling you, the donuts are bigger, they're fresher, they're better.
They're
Okay?
fresher. I don't think that's possible.
That they're bigger?
No, really, they're off script. They're the largest Krispy Kreme donuts you will ever see. If you Google the Krispy Kreme in by Wofford's campus,
I'm doing that right now. Yeah.
do it. You'll see the reviews. You'll look at the pictures. You'll be like, "Oh my goodness, I've never seen a Krispy Kreme that large." It's nuts. They don't even fit in the box when you get a dozen.
All right. It's 8 minutes from campus. Okay. Oh,
But you can walk. It's really
yeah.
just like a couple lights that slow you down.
That's probably pretty.
Yeah, Grant, you head out there, send us pictures, let us know how it is.
Okay. Yeah. Friendly staff, great service, and wondering donuts, says this 5-star review from 2 weeks
That's
ago.
right. That's right.
There you go.
Most Krispy Kreme reviews are terrible because the customer service is terrible.
Yeah.
But they treat you right in that one. Look, it's a shining example of what Krispy Kreme could be as a donut chain. Anyway, we're getting to baseball. So we dropped the midweek against Troy. Troy's top 25 team.
I kind of want a donut now.
I think this is our first season in quite a while. Y'all correct me, but quite a while that we did not win a top 25 midweek matchup because usually we sneak one in there. Usually it's not as big as the win against Kentucky last year, but the Auburn one, I guess 2 weeks ago, seemed the most attainable, only losing 3-0. But still, lost the last midweek of the season to Troy, but didn't matter. Big sweep over UNCG this weekend. And guys, the Bats came to town. The stats were kind of mind boggling and really kind of skewed. I'll give an overview of the team conference stats here in a minute, but kind of skewed it in Samford's favor. So get this. We had 2 run rule games, and then we won a convincing game 3, 12-4. The offense over the course of the 3 games drew 19 walks, had 40 hits, 6 home runs. Gupton had 3. And we only struck out 17 times, combining for 38 runs. It doesn't get better. Like, that's ridiculous. I was looking at our schedule. You have to go all the way back to the beginning of April, the series against Wofford, to find any kind of similar offensive output. Otherwise, it's been kind of meager the past few series. So the Bats certainly exploded. We head to Mercer, and this is what where it really counted. It now puts us squarely in second in the SoCon. We talked last week. There were kind of 4 teams vying for the top 2 seeds. There's still 4 teams vying for the top 2 seeds, but instead of us sitting there kind of on the third, tied it for third, we're squarely in second at 12-6, 1 game back from first. And then Mercer and Citadel are both tied at 10-8. We're at 12-6, and ETSU's leading 13-5. So Citadel finishes the season with ETSU. If we sweep Mercer and ETSU does not sweep, we win the SoCon. If we beat Mercer and Citadel beats ETSU, we win the SoCon. If we just beat Mercer, we win second place, clinch second place, which is really all that matters at this point. Yep. It's kind of a wash after that. So 2 weeks ago, I thought the odds were stacked against us to finish second. Now it's like, holy moly, it's right there in front of us. Let's go beat the Bears. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, no midweek this week. So everybody tune in on Thursday, Friday, Saturday to watch the pivotal fight for at least the 2 seed. which is still your double bye. But going into the last week, and I want to see kind of how the teams stacked up against each other, stats wise in conference play, because it's with Samford, ETSU, Citadel, Mercer, UNCG to a lesser degree going into last week at least, you knew who the top teams were. But I was surprised at how Samford had separated themselves statistically, and really pulled in there with ETSU, who was winning all the accolades still. I was listening to the 11.7 guys, and they had crowned ETSU the winner of the SoCon for their bracket predictions. One of them went on a limb and claimed Mercer, which, okay. I mean, two of them played at Mercer, so there's
I was
some
gonna
bias
say,
there.
I was gonna
But
say,
they
was it the Mercer grad
but they never
that picked
pick
one?
them.
Yeah,
They never pick them,
yeah.
regardless. From an offensive standpoint, Samford number one. This is what this season it's UNCG totally swung the entire outlook. Samford's number one in runs with 157. ETSU's in second, 20 runs back at 137. So those 38 runs against UNCG catapulted us squarely into first place in that stat. We lead in hits with 197. Mercer up there, 183 in second. We lead in home runs, which was surprising because I don't think any of us would call this team a power hitting team. Maybe slug with just our speed, we get to second base quite a bit, but certainly not home runs. But over the course of the season, we're at 38. ETSU's in second with 31. Surprising. Citadel and VMI, 32 stolen bases, tied first. Surprised that Wofford wasn't there. Wofford just does not seem to have the bats this year. They were also, I think, second in most times picked off stealing. So not great for the Terrier strategy there. With all that said, we do lead in strikeouts. I think that stat does not surprise a single person.
Yes,
With
first
100,
first in homers, first in Ks. Love it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. With 148, ETSU's 143. This was a fairly tight spread. Wofford had the fewest at 121, so really only a difference of 27 strikeouts, which was, I guess, I was expecting a little bit more. I knew we were going to be first though. ETSU drew the most walks so far. They're at 86, and we're not too far behind. We're in second at 79. So our what is that? A rough, slightly 1.6 strikeouts for every walk ish.
Yep.
So Sanford squarely has the number one offense, which is awesome. Did not expect that coming into the season. From a pitching standpoint, we're right up there too, but ETSU has the edge in most of these. So ETSU has allowed the least earned runs as well as the least total runs. So they've only given up 56 earned runs, 67 total runs, but we're in seventh or second.
Jesus.
We got 73 earned runs against us and 85 total runs. Mercer is in third at 81 earned runs. So ETSU is way up there compared to the rest of the pack. They have also allowed the fewest hits at 144, but Samford is not too far behind in second at 148. Then Western has given up the least home runs with 12. They probably just don't throw it hard enough. And then ETSU and Samford are tied at second with 16. And then here, this is another power stat that Samford's leading in. We lead in strikeouts with 161. Western and UNCG tied at 142, so a fairly healthy lead there. Would be surprised to see if we didn't finish first in that category. And then ETSU has given up the fewest walks with 39, but we're right there in second with 46. So I guess it shouldn't be too shocking considering one game back from the lead against a really, really good ETSU team that these stats favor Samford, but still kind of surprising, right, guys? Like tracking throughout the whole season would not have bet that we would be leading in so many key stats.
Yeah, especially with the young team, kind of started off kind of slow, or started off hot, then kind of hit that lull in the middle of conference play. I was like, oh no, they're actually going to hit. And then you get to it. Gupton's been on a tear. Here's the SoCon Player of the Week this past week. His OPS is now over 1,000. He leads Samford in homers with 13, 335 average, and 42 RBIs. Then you got McDonald, another young player, 12th in homers, then ends the transfers started all 49 games with 10 homers. Then you go further down, some other young guys. Trey Higgins, he's out for the year with an injury, but he had 9 homers. And Jake Souders, the freshman, has come on as of late, and he's really kind of solidified that left field role, hitting almost 330 with 8 homers too. So like we knew how young this team was. The lineup, like if they all stayed next year, and again, that's a big if. It's just a matter of like what does the team look like?
Yeah.
And Samford could definitely win the league if you add a couple more arms next year. But still, it's encouraging to see kind of these young guys kind of step up when they were kind of forced out there early on, not knowing, because Samford had to replace basically their entire lineup minus one guy from last year.
We had zero idea what to expect with the lineup. And it really stinks that Higgins is out for the season because he was kind of our power hitter. Him and Souders were our power hitter at the beginning. Or I guess Souders more near the end, but um the fact that we lose him and we kind of still keep on trucking, testament to the depth. We'll see if it holds up. I mean, we're certainly trending in the right direction. You want to be playing your best baseball at the end of the season, but my goodness, like this is not this was better than I think I would have expected, or certainly better than I did expect it before the season. Um, and certainly surprised with the lull you mentioned, Grant. Like, kind of looked like we were going to be sitting there fourth, fifth seed in conference,
Yeah.
pitching up and down. We show flashes, and then boom, this UNCG series totally just turned everything around.
And you got a true freshman leading in ERA, and Mason Blashy with the 3.34 ERA in 59 innings.
He
And then he's got that Hoover to Samford to Auburn pipeline probably going. Riggins a 4.68 ERA, but Steckmesser out of the bullpen's been really, really good. Under 3.5 ERA in 49 innings. And he's pitched 49 innings, only given up 19 earned runs all year. So again, you've got a couple bullpen arms. It's kind of funny. Sanford's got more starters this year than they did last year. They don't have that massive ace like they had with Ross and Cravey before, but they've got a little bit more depth than they had previous years. You throw Josh Learson in there too. The BSC transfer. He's got an ERA under 5 as well.
I just don't. What I don't understand is, okay, when you look at the RPI, ETSU's at 48. We're sitting there at 95. That would make sense if before I look at those conference only stats and I hear that, I'm like, okay, yeah, the chasm between us and ETSU that's about right. They're a league above. But then when you start looking at the same competition and the conference stats and we start pulling ahead, it's almost like how much of ETSU's RPI is carried by their incredible early preseason play.
Yeah, by one win, by the Tennessee win, how much does that factor in basically
Like
getting that?
It's got to factor in a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And then some of our losses, right? And ours, I think we have no quad one wins. That's a detriment. But it's one of those things where RPI matters only to a point. Even Mercer's sitting there 67th. Like they aren't 30 teams better than Samford.
But who knows about that Tennessee win here? That they haven't won a series in like a month and a half. So
Hey, now we got time.
They're picking fights. They're picking fights. You're saying
that fight. We didn't pick that fight.
Okay, yeah. Hey, Van, is this saying this is my effing field? Hitting a game tying home run.
Yeah, so Mercer's sitting at 67th. We're at 95. If we beat Mercer, I will be interested to see what that shift in the RPI is. I don't think it'll be that much. Like I don't think Samford will be able to climb at all. But I only bring this up for two reasons. One, just to point out how stark the difference is in RPI ranking, despite the similarities as far as overall statistics and conference play. But then second, when we get to our conference preview show after this weekend of games, ETSU, if they lose in the conference title, would at least have an RPI to be in the discussion of a bubble team. They're still on the out. They would still be on the outside looking in. The SoCon is not a two-bid league, but still just a testament to their season. And maybe Sanford needs to look at how ETSU pulled off some of that early success, because who knows if these stats if they are truly reflective of the quality of team we have, and we really are as good as this ETSU team is on paper, this team could win a regional, and that's not even really sunshine pumping. Just if you listen to how ETSU is regarded nationwide as one of those dark horse Cinderella squads who beat at the time #1 Tennessee.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're done with our midweeks because right now Jacksonville State's playing at Auburn. It is 19-0 Auburn in the seventh right now. So they scored 11 runs in the fourth inning. Jack State has one hit as we get to the top of the seventh. So yeah, thankfully we're done
That's
with our
tough.
midweeks for the rest of the year.
That
With
is tough.
Lucas Steele 1-for-4 with a double. But yeah,
Yeah, I guess
very
that
crazy.
brings up your earlier point, Grant. If you, the real stinker, and always has been for Samford baseball, is if one year you could retain all of your talent, we would be a top 30 baseball team. That's how crazy the swing could be. Because all of a sudden, these all star freshmen are now sophomores and they're even better. And then you brought in all star freshmen to replace the seniors that graduated. Um, if you retain them for 2 years, you're winning a regional on the regular. But that's just not, it's not how the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. Um,
It's
all right,
wild
let's get to,
watching. It's wild watching. A Tennessee fan watching Tennessee
yeah.
baseball games when they're playing other SEC teams, and I hear a name and I'm like, wait a minute, I know that name, but it's Samford.
I always meant to look up how Ledbetter did after he went to Mississippi State because that was like one of the big names that left Samford in the sense of, oh, that guy might actually make it to the MLB.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he raked either the first or second year he went to state after. He's still in the minors right now. He was a second round pick. He's in Double A with the
okay,
in
that
Double A
answers it.
Montgomery right now. But yeah, another guy who's been on a great season. The guy who transferred out, Aaron Walton for
Mm.
Arizona, has been on a tear too.
Granted,
He's
he was a 1 or 2 year, right?
yeah
Didn't we get him from Georgia Tech?
yeah that sounds right. He's hitting 318 with 10 homers right now. So
That kid could hit home runs.
yeah, and Jane Davis is still playing for Vandy, and yeah, just go down the list of guys that are
He's the
That's
one that
tough.
kind
started
of
that
rolling.
fight this weekend.
Oh, he did.
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. He's a good kid.
That's funny.
All right, let's get to
Yeah.
softball, Grant. Not as happy, but still a team we can be proud of this season.
Yeah, started first tournament this past weekend. Started great, started hot 2-0, win the first two games. Then you run into #1 seed UTC 8-3. Had a big inning where Chattanooga scored like 5 runs to take like a 7-3 lead at that point. It kind of fell off the wheels. Wheels kind of fell off at that point. Then you play a second game, having to that same day, and then Mercer just goes on a tear. Your pitching kind of loses its luster a little bit. You lost to Chattanooga that first game 8-3. Lost to Mercer 13-5, and then Mercer was like, "Screw it, we beat Samford. Let's just go ahead and win the darn thing." And sure enough, they went all the way, got real hot. They lost their first game to UTC and came back in a losers bracket. Ended up winning. Sam, you went back and checked this out. Mercer's the highest seed to win, going all the way back to 2010. Third 1-3 seed has won each year. So Mercer was the sixth seed, I want to say, in the tournament.
And
This tournament.
that fifth seed. And it could go further back than that. But that was what the SoCon gave. Wikipedia has more champions, but they don't have the seeds. So it's a little bit harder to verify. But yeah, 15 years. Highest
Yeah.
highest seed to win it.
That's wild. Yeah, Mercer is obviously on the NCAA tournament. They are going to the Florida regionals. They're going to play Florida in Gainesville, which Samford also did in the non-conference slate. Then a shout out to the
And we held
six
our
seed.
own. Mercer's about to get
Yeah, we did.
obliterated.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Hey, we hung around a little bit, and then obviously Florida took off the way you would expect a top 5 team at that point to do it. Actually, they're still #4 in the country. #4 seeds are still really, really good.
Yeah.
6 seniors to shout out from this past year: Sarah Squillaci, Greer Bruce, catcher Logan Champion, center fielder Michaela Crawford, infielder Lindsey Hargis, and then pitcher Jordan Partain have all finished their careers at Samford.
That's a big those are big losses. That's kind of a core that we had been watching for the past few years who seemed like they were the ones propelling or building the Sanford program and then really capitalized on it this season, especially with Jordan Partain and that, Mac Newcomb left the year before. Um, she still has eligibility. She could come back, but be excited to see, I guess Sarah Bond or no, who'll be the pitcher taking over?
Olivia Treacy got a lot of runs. She was a freshman this
That's
past
right.
year. She'll be
That's right.
sophomore in the Sarabon too. I think she might be a senior coming up this next season. So yeah, still a real good year. 33 wins. I went back and checked only the second time since Samford won 40 games in 2017 that they had won 30 plus games in a season. So pretty good for first year Megan Curry of the Megan Curry era.
Yeah, I would say it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think looking at the names that we lost, we'll see if it's repeatable next season. But I don't know. We'll see. I think especially catcher is always a position that lacks offense, and to have someone, I think, champions our catcher, Grant. Yeah, to have someone like her, that's tough because she was good. I don't know who replaces her, but
yeah, and you should have Olivia Shaw coming back. She was a sophomore this past year. She hit 381 with 10 bombs, so she'll be a junior next year. So she's got a OPS finished with an OPS over 1100. So
we'll be fine then.
Yeah,
we'll
she
be fine
raked.
at that spot.
Yeah, she raked.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, we'll see. I'm excited to see who Megan brings in, and hopefully it's the start of a little softball dynasty.
A little run, yeah.
I mean, it does think that we got eliminated by freaking Mercer. But teams get hot. They certainly were not one of the better teams all season, but that's the unfortunate reality of a tournament.
Yep.
But yeah, Mike, anything you want to add before we shut it down?
Who's gonna win?
Not the Celtics.
Yeah, not the Cavs either. It looks like.
Not the Cavs. Cavs are kind of like the Rockets, young, unexperienced, but amazing team.
Yeah,
they'll be back. Yeah, they were the 2 seed, seed in the West, and got basically swept by the Warriors. Gentleman sweep.
As we say, they're not in it right now.
We missed it last week, but I've got the Thunder. That's an easy pick. But Samford added a new basketball coach.
Is it an easy pick?
Well, I think
the Nuggets
could
could still beat them.
Yeah, I still think that the Thunderstorm, although Knicks Pacers will be really fun Eastern Conference Finals. Like those teams will scratch and claw and basically be a brawl for 7 games. That'll be fun. Samford basketball did add another staff member last week, another assistant coach. Sam, you're not going to like this part. He was an assistant coach at Furman last season. He was
wait, that's 2, right? Now we have 2 Furman guys.
He was on Bob Ritchie's staff for 1 year last year. Was on staff at a D2 school, Flagler. Before that, he played for ACUF at UAH, so that's where that connection comes from. So that's why he's come.
Cool.
So that's why he's coming over for Furman.
Against Furman the last 5 years and said, "We're going to fix that."
Yeah,
honestly, that's okay. Let's
I
look, if that's the mentality, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I still hate to hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I still got 2 spots left in the roster, so still same status quo as before. So
sounds good. Well, hopefully baseball wins the series this weekend, clinches at least the 2 seed in the SoCon tournament next week. But until then, hope everyone has a fantastic week, and go Dogs.